Boys, today is sports brunch. Dan came dressed for the occasion.
I'm ready. Team USA, baby. Let's go.
Wow.
And his silk overnight Olympics pajamas.
Customized Olympics warm-up jersey. Yes. Thank you, General Mills.
Can you show the people on YouTube the best part of this this jersey, please?
Oh, you're talking about the back. You want to know what's on the back?
Please.
Of course.
I wish I would have known when I was a kid that I was going to be going by Steel City, or else I would have thrown that right on the back. Maybe I can get that added. Maybe I'll call Chris. Let me get your mom's phone number. See if she can add that. Change that out for me.
She'd be happy to. She'd be happy to.
I have to ask you now, because I mean, you told us this off the air, but I think the people need to know, how did you get this jersey?
So we're probably in the neighborhood of how many years ago? Yikes. Probably 25 years ago. That's ridiculous, by the way. The good folks at General Mills Cereals were putting out a little cereal box campaign, as they would back in the day, where you save up your UPCs after a couple boxes, you send them in, and they're throwing you a custom Team USA jersey with your name on the back. There it is right there. The General Mills logo. Give a little shout out support. Big promoters of the Brunch Breakdown, sponsors of the Brunch Breakdown. And here I am. We're doing sports brunch. It's the Olympic season. You know how much I love it. I'm rocking Team USA all week long.
If General Mills ends up in a future brunch court, we need to be nice.
Yes.
Yeah, we absolutely do. I will always remember them for this custom silky, meshy jersey.
It does just look like you have oversized pajamas on.
Yeah. It just doesn't quite fit, doesn't go the length of the arm, but still has that hockey jersey style, that loose fit. Yeah.
I wish the G for General Mills was like on the chest where the C symbol should be. They really messed that up.
Right here.
There. Well, boys, this is sports brunch, but this has nothing to do with sports. All right. So 3 years ago now, I proposed to my wife. 3 years ago today.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, amazing.
So I want to ask you guys about what was it on your first date, right? First date with your significant other. Dan, you're engaged. Chris, you're married. Was it that made you say, oh man, this person's cool? What made you think it? Because I know it's like the one is like, that's a deep thing. But what was the first thing that made you say, you know what? I want to see this person again.
I've got three that are very out front and obvious. Number one, she went to Mario's in the South Side for our first date to meet me. Number two, she drank Yingling with me at Mario's. And number three, we talked quite a bit about college football on our first date. Those three things were like, damn, let's go. That's the equation for Chris Gates right there.
Beautiful. Dan?
It's a good list. For me, I'll break it up into the first day we met and then the first date. The first day we met, we ended up at Puree after a long night, and it's a joke that we still have between ourselves and some close friends that were there as well. She's in the middle of talking. She's eating fries from Puree with a fork. She has like the cheesy fries. And then out of nowhere, for no reason, she sticks her fork in her water and didn't even realize that she did it. Instead of sticking it in the fries, she sticks it in her water. So fork water is, it was an inside joke. Now everybody knows between us. And I was like, there's something special about this one here. And then on our actual first date was at a Mexican restaurant. And I swear to you, we had like 7 different waiters and people come over that were taking care of us. And we were cracking up hysterically the whole time. I think some people would probably get a little bit frustrated in that scenario. Like, how don't they remember what we're ordering? Like they're different people. And we were just cracking up the whole time about it. I'm like, okay, this girl can get down and laugh at this, then she's in for the long haul.
I love it. And on our first date, what made me say it was probably we're probably maybe like 5 minutes into this thing, and we're asking dumb first date questions. What kind of music you like, whatever. I ask her, what kind of music you into? And she says Pitbull. And I was like, that's it. She didn't tell me a genre. She didn't tell me like any type of music. She just said Pitbull with a straight face. And I was like, yep. I didn't know if you were the one, but I knew that I needed to see you again and again and again.
For sure.
So there you go.
That's amazing.
All right. Well, boys, it is Sports Brunch here on the Brunch Breakdown. It's Didi out here in Los Angeles. Chris and Dan are in Pittsburgh. That's a big cup.
Yeah, man. Stadium Cup. Sports Brunch. It's a Wisconsin football cup. Let's go.
I love it. That is beautiful. Well, today on the show, we're talking all things sports. So if you hate sports, I hope you enjoyed the first few minutes of the Brunch Breakdown. But anyways, we're going to be talking Olympics and a lot of topics about that. We're talking realignment in college football, that hilarious, interesting, bizarre Aaron Rodgers presser. We're going to talk about that, what we're listening to, and so much more. But first, before we get started, Dan, let everybody know, not where they can get that jersey because they can't get it anywhere. Let them know where they can find the Brunch Breakdown.
1-of-1 exclusive. This is gone, people. 25 years old. Going in the Hall of Fame. You can find the Brunch Breakdown anywhere that you can find your favorite podcasts throughout the internet. That includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. New episodes coming to you every Thursday morning. We encourage you to hit subscribe, and whichever one you want to listen to, hit subscribe. Let those episodes come to you. Make it easy for you. Of course, the full video episode, so you can see this gorgeous jersey warm-up that I'm wearing. The full video episode available every Thursday morning as well. That's 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern on our YouTube and Facebook pages when it premieres, available on demand anytime after that for your watching pleasure. And of course, we're everywhere on social media at Brunch Breakdown. That's including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Triller, TikTok, everywhere. Follow us on Spotify for the Sounds of Brunch playlist. We give you what we're listening to every week. That playlist updated every Friday on Spotify as well.
Beautiful, Dan. Beautiful.
Thank you.
All right. Well, let's get this podcast started like we always do. Brewsday. Boys. Chris, what are you sipping on, man?
Glad that you asked me first, because I want to let you guys know that this segment is really starting to pay off for me. And I hope it is for you guys too. Like, now that my wife and I are finally seeing family and friends again, like, I'm finding out how many people actually listen to this podcast, which is A-okay. And they enjoy Brewsday so much that they bring me beers to try, which is just delightful. Okay. We just went to a family wedding this past weekend. Both of my brother-in-laws, my lawful brothers, both of them.
Yinz law.
Yinz law. Both of them brought me beers to try on this podcast. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Dan. I'm going to try Mike's this week. And then my brother-in-law, Dan, I'm going to try his next week, because my brother-in-law, Dan, got me a very Steel City Dan beer to try. So that's what they call a tease. Okay. Today from Charlotte, North Carolina, Sugar Creek Brewing Company, I'm trying the Big O Blood Orange IPA. This has Daniel Dudley written all over it.
That's a Daniel Dudley beer, if anyone is. Yeah.
And if you want to see the Blood Orange, it's very orange.
Oh my God, that looks like an orange.
It looks like damn near orange juice. I've already tried it. It is exactly what you want. You know, sometimes you get a Blood Orange IPA and just the name Blood Orange makes my mouth water. I want that taste that you're looking for. And so I feel like there's so much, at least for me, anticipation for a Blood Orange IPA that, like, sometimes, maybe more often than not, the Blood Orange IPAs don't live up to what I want from them. This one is just tremendous. It is everything you'd want in a Blood Orange IPA. Like, from first sip to last, you're getting that citrus, you're getting that orange flavor, and it is damn tasty. So thank you, Mike, the Big O out of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Nice.
Very much appreciated.
That is beautiful. All right. Well, speaking of Blood Orange, guys, Blood Orange
Let's
IPA,
go.
21st Amendment Brewing Company in San Diego. Absolutely love this beer. I've had this beer before, talked about it before on here, but I hadn't had it in a long time, So I'm very excited to be drinking this with you boys today. Blood Orange IPA. I just, this is my favorite. I want to try. I try, and like you said, I try everything that's blood orange. Like I love blood orange mimosas. I love blood orange everything. So like I love blood orange IPAs when they do it right. So me and Chris, blood orange brothers for life. Here we go. 21st Amendment Blood Orange IPA.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, I'm not going to stay with the blood orange theme, unfortunately.
Dude, if you did, I was going to be like, shut the podcast down.
Yeah. Close but no cigar. I've got an interesting collaboration brew to share with you gentlemen today that I've had for a little while, but this was the right time to share it. So anybody throughout the country that lives in Sheetz territory knows the Big Red Machine, knows about Sheetz. Okay. And they've done a couple collaborative beers already with different breweries, and they're usually incredible. They did a hot dog one. We're not getting into that. I was quite offended. So forgetting that one, they do these pretty unique and cool beer collaborations that usually tie back into something that Sheetz offers. Okay. So they've had a new one for this summer that they teamed up with Goose Island. Everybody knows Goose Island. You've all seen the tap handle. That's a neck of a goose. And this one is called, it's a milkshake IPA called Project Ice Cream Brew Scream. And it is brewed with strawberry and banana smoothie puree. So you've got the can there with the Crazy Sheets man on it. We've all seen him before, but you can get a delicious smoothie at Sheetz. And this is strawberry banana smoothie puree milkshake IPA. And let me tell you what, it's tremendous. It's absolutely tremendous. Anybody that loves strawberry banana, difficult to do in a beer because you have the tartness and you have the balance with the banana. Boom. Both of these come through very prominently. This is delicious. Shouts to Sheetz and their beer collaborations. Besides that one, they're amazing. This one's amazing. It's very fruity, but it's very light. And you get just like a little touch of hops, just the right amount. It's slightly creamy, slightly sweet, but not overly sweet. Project Ice Cream Brew Scream from Sheetz and Goose Island coming together to give us this delicious treat for Brewsday.
Wow. Nice. I want to know again, because Chris asked this last week and it made me interested in this now. Like, what's the shelf life on that thing? Like, of course, like you're drinking it now, but like, how long can that stay in your fridge?
This one can last a while. So the fact that it's a milkshake IPA gives it enough balance there where it's not overly loaded with fruit and it's not overly thick. It is amazing how the flavors come through so prominently, but they don't, you can tell they don't use an insane amount of fruit like they would in a sour or another type of beer like that. So maybe for a season and a half, you could probably get by.
That's good.
I need to, by the time Christmas rolls around, probably need to have these out of the fridge. I got a few more left. So this one, a little bit longer shelf life than some of those, heavily fruited sours and beers like that. So that's the problem. I find these delicious beers and I want to save them, but then there's some that you can't. And that's devastating when they have to be gone and gone forever. Beers like this, gone forever. They don't duplicate these at all. They come out once and they're gone. So get it if you still can.
Beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, boys, cheers.
Cheers.
Another Brewsday. And shout out to anybody listening to this podcast who wants to send us beer. Please do.
Yeah.
Like any of us, one of us, all three of us, it doesn't matter. Just send it along for all the people who listen to Brewsday. Please send it along.
Please do.
We will try it. We will promote it.
We will try it all. We will shout you out. We will get a custom USA jersey with your name on the back of it and shout you out with General Mills.
Not General Mills though, Dan. We can't promise that. We can't promise that.
It's true. It's true. But we've got a Brewsday collaboration, Midsummer's Brew, coming up with the Legend Status podcast in a week or two. So that's the ideal situation to talk lots of beer. It'll be like Brewsday for a lot longer. So stay tuned for that as well. So yeah, send them over. Send them over. A little beer and cereal, whatever. We'll make it happen.
It's gonna be Brewsday, but a lot longer. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get random topics off our chest. Dan, get us started. Get it off your chest, man.
All right. So we're talking sports brunch today, but I had to go left turn for getting it off my chest because we'll have plenty of opportunity to do that and supporting Team USA. Something happened to me this past week, and I just needed to get this in front of an audience here because I know I'm not alone, but it needs to be vocalized. Okay. I literally cannot comprehend the pain of really spicy food or super hot sauces. I literally can't mentally comprehend people that enjoy this. Okay. Like I accidentally swallowed a jalapeno pepper seed over the weekend and I about lost it. Okay. I was in a mild panic. And we were out it was actually at a taco festival and I had to look around to try to find, what's going to cool this down. I started to sweat. I took a knee. I'm not going over exaggerated here. I should have brought Shannon in. She could have given you the play by play. Yeah, there was a mild sweat and I was like, what do I do? There's beer around, there's margaritas, there's water. No. Like give me, where's the dairy? I need the milk. They had an ice cream truck there. Line too long. I can't wait that long. My mouth is on fire. How do people enjoy this? How are people literally like, yum, I love the pain. And I know there's pain tolerances or, spice tolerances, a difference for people and things like that. But it was really a really difficult situation. I had to get a Starbucks Frappuccino, which I did not want to do, but cracked that bad boy open. And thankfully that helped put the fire out that was in my mouth going on there. So, I don't want to hear the extra flavor argument because any food that puts you into pain, that's not food, right? There's no extra flavor there. That's extra pain. No one wants extra pain as a side dish. I'm good with spice, good with spicy, but when it hits that level of I need milk right now, and that's all you can think of, it just makes no sort of sense to me. If you enjoy that and you love to sweat and you love the pain, I think you're a bit of a psychopath, and I don't understand why you don't just enjoy regular food and spicy food as it is without the pain. I wish I was joking on any of that. I'm not.
Well, we don't need Shannon for the play-by-play because I think me and Dee Dee pictured it. Cool. We know exactly what it looked like.
Yeah.
I don't want the play-by-play because it will ruin what I have in my head. So.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I love spicy food, but I'm with you. And I think personally, I'm probably like I say I like spicy food, but I think my spice tolerance is probably on the lower end because I'll get like mild wings and they make me sweat. And I'm like, I'm good here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think like that super painful spice is like, unless you're the one situation I get doing it, which I wouldn't do, is like if you're trying to win a bet,
Sure.
But yeah, I'm with you. School. Like, yeah. Yeah. Like otherwise, this kind of goes, remember we talked about scary movies a few weeks ago, and like, I don't like to waste my time having a bad time. When I'm eating, I want to enjoy it. I don't want to hate it. So I'm with you, man.
Yeah, I think people who do that don't like the food they're eating because I like chicken. I could eat plain chicken. I like chicken with sauces. I like chicken with barbecue sauce, hot sauce, whatever. But there gets to a point where it's like I'm not enjoying the food anymore. I don't taste the food anymore. I just feel my mouth being numb. So it's like not good because I have a tolerance for that stuff, but it's like it got to a point where I was like, well, who am I impressing here? Like, why am I like why am I getting like why am I going that far up the Buffalo Wild Wings chart? Like, why am I doing that? Like, I'm right here. This is where the food still tastes good. What am I doing up here? Like, I 100% get that. But I need to know, how did you, person who doesn't do this kind of thing, end up swallowing a jalapeno seed? Like, how did you end up doing that?
I think it was unintentionally in the homemade pico de gallo on a taco I had, which I understood. But because we had two of them, we each had one because it was a taco fest. We could each get one taco at a bunch of places. And it was like last bite for me. Shannon had no issues. And the one, it was just like, I had to have accidentally slipped in there and whoo, yeah, not an enjoyable experience whatsoever. So thank you for at least understanding that. Yeah, like, who you guys been trying to impress anymore? Yeah, it's a hot, spicy stuff, hot stuff. That's all good and dandy, but pain levels, go do something else. Go step on a nail.
Chris, get it off your chest. Go step on a nail.
Well, okay. Well, I guess I suppose I can talk about a different type of pain for my little bit here. Since it's sports brunch and we're going to talk a lot about the Olympics, something I want to talk about is, I've been watching a lot of Olympic sports over the past week or so, and it's become pretty clear to me personally what I would view as the worst way to lose in an Olympic sport, to not medal. Okay. So that's pretty painful, right? It's like probably even worse than getting a rogue jalapeno seed in your taco. I watched, I believe it was the 800-meter men's final in track. I watched the American. I forget the guy's name. I had it written down. I don't know where I put it. This dude, like midway through the second lap, guys start kind of converging, coming together, elbows, knees. He gets tripped and he falls. He knocks over another dude. And the minute you fall and when you're running track, it's over. And I just thought in my head, like, all that training, all that time over the past 4 years to get to this point, this is your moment. And you don't even get to finish the race. Like, you don't get to realize your potential because of something that was like a complete accident. And like we've all seen the movie Cool Runnings. There's no repercussions. They don't run the race over again, right? You have to take up a new sport and try and bobsled. That's what happens if you get knocked over in a race. Unbelievable. Like, I cannot imagine.
I've got another one for you in track where I guess it's a newer role and it depends on the what they're running. It's not all track, like all swimming. There's certain races where, and I'm sure if people have seen this, if you jump the gun and you have a false start, you are out. You are out of there. You are disqualified. They don't give you one more chance to go back. That's how it used to be. They would restart. You get one more chance. Then if you do it again, then you're done. But working for now 5 years to get to that point, and you've got adrenaline running through you, and you're so amped up and ready that you just jump the gun barely. They come over and you basically have to stand there until the official comes over and essentially gives you the equivalent of a red card in soccer, and then you shame walk yourself back to the locker room and go home. Like, that's bad. But I think too, with what you're saying, if you get tripped from somebody else,
yeah.
If you weren't the one that fell, but you fell because somebody fell in front of you, yeah, I think that's probably a little bit worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And another thing with the false start is that, like, they do that in high school. And like, when you're running, I ran high school track, and like, it is the most messed up feeling. And I'm not in the Olympics. I'm not, I didn't, I didn't train like these dudes would dedicate their whole life to this thing. And they're getting ready to run the biggest race of their life. And then somebody's walking across just like, and you honestly, like, you don't really know if it's not you.
Yeah.
Because because if that person's in like lane 8 or something, and you're like maybe in the middle, or you're on the other side, you have no idea who false started. You have no clue who false started.
Yeah.
You're just like, and they're just walking across, and you're just like, oh my God, is it me? It's a huge mind fuck. And that was in high school. You know what I mean? And so I can't imagine what it's like being in the Olympics and having them just walk across, and then card. They're like, it's you.
God.
And you're just like, God damn it.
That's
like,
brutal.
Yeah, that sucks. But with the tripping thing, it's like a girl fell on I think it was one of the long hurdle race, like 400-meter hurdles or something. In the final, girl going down the final stretch, she trips over the hurdle. She hits the hurdle, falls over, she's out. And I'm just like, you hurdle better than anybody in the history of hurdling.
Yeah.
And you just tripped over the hurdle and you're out. Like, that is just so it's embarrassing. Like, you're embarrassed. It's not even like you finishing 8th. It's like you're at least supposed to go over the hurdle.
That should be first, right? Yeah. Like, you want to be fast, but first of all, don't
Yeah.
trip over the hurdle. Jump over the hurdle.
Like, if you lose, whatever, it wasn't your day. Like, that
Yeah.
happens. Like, you're one of the 8 fastest hurdlers in the world or whatever. But if you just DQ on the hurdles because you trip and then fall, like, you hit the hurdle and you fall out of the lane.
Yeah.
God, that would just be, I wouldn't want to go home after that.
Right. They were doing hurdles in the rain the other night. In the rain.
Dude,
I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
No way.
So you can hurdle in the rain, but we can't play like the 7th inning of a baseball game. That doesn't make much sense.
And that rain was hard as hell the other day.
Yes, it was. Like, they're like, nope, we got a schedule. We got to run it. There's no lightning. Cool. Run it.
Like, it's the Olympics, man. Nobody should be running in the rain. Like, nobody. No, we wait till the rain's over. It's the freaking Olympics.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't know they did that. That's ridiculous.
it's
Well, shout out to all the track and field athletes, man. I think we've just established that it's probably the most brutal sport to potentially lose. I found the guy's name. Isaiah Jewett is the U.S. runner, and he was so gracious in his interview afterwards and like so positive about it because he was happy to be there, and that was part of his lifelong dream. But I cannot imagine. So props to him.
well, I'm gonna get this off my chest because it ties in with sports. Kanye.
Of course.
We're supposed to get this album on Friday, and he's living, as we all know, in the Atlanta Falcons stadium. Still, there are people actually outside of the stadium holding up signs that say, "Shh, Kanye's working," or "Shh, Kanye's sleeping." It has become absolutely ridiculous. And I just wonder, he's doing a listening event again on Thursday at the stadium. And if the album doesn't come out on Friday, the Atlanta Falcons have preseason games that are getting ready to start.
That's right.
So when do they kick Kanye out? And I've been wondering this in my head. It's like, it's a fun story right now. Like, they've had soccer games that have been going on, like Atlanta FC games have been going on while Kanye's there, and he's been just spotted walking around the stadium. Fans have taken pictures with him in his mask and stuff. I'm like, but at what point are you like, okay, we need Kanye to leave? How do we tell Kanye to leave Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta? And that's all I've been thinking about. So I'm like, is the album coming Friday, or is Kanye gonna have to find a new place to live?
Dude, that's fascinating. I didn't think they were going to be, up against that. I mean, obviously he's been staying there for events, but there has to be a point where they're like, we're really here to support you, but you got to wrap this up. You got to wrap this up. We need that little closet for the trainer's room back that you're sleeping on your little cot in.
Yeah.
I don't know what's your confidence level? Do you think this album's actually coming out on Friday?
No. But maybe.
I don't.
It's always a maybe.
When is the first Falcons game?
That's a good question.
Probably a week from Sunday.
Yeah, it's got to be soon. Like,
it's probably a week from Sunday because the preseason game, first one is Thursday, and then I think it's the following week. Maybe it's even a week from Thursday, but I think we're less than 10 days out.
Yeah, we got to be.
I think
the Hall of Fame game's like this weekend, right?
Yeah.
It's tomorrow, isn't it?
It's Thursday. Yeah.
Okay.
Or today, as you're listening to this episode.
Next Friday.
Okay.
Titans at Falcons.
So I think it's going to come out after that. This conversation led me to Google the lyrics of one. Well, actually, I don't remember who was it. Ludacris? I don't remember who had this lyric, but the song "What's Your Fantasy" said, "I want to get you in the Georgia Dome on the 50-yard line." Okay, and so maybe Kanye is trying to recreate that because now it's Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So it's not the Georgia Dome anymore. Like maybe we're trying to, there's a lyric in there that he wants to be authentic, but he has to wait till the game is played. So I'm thinking after that game.
Okay.
Does that make any sense?
Theory. That's a theory.
That's as good a theory as anybody else got.
For real.
Like everybody else is just like
that's his fantasy. Sorry, that song is great. We're putting that on a playlist this week, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Add it in.
Absolutely. Shouts to Ludacris. My God. Shouts to Ludacris. But yeah, anyways, that was get it off your chest. And now let's get into some fun sports topics in the main course, guys. All right. Since we were talking about Olympics, let's go to Olympics. And there's a lot of Olympic sports. We want to know, what are the dumbest Olympic sports? Because there's a lot of them, and a lot of them are dumb. And since Dan's wearing wearing his uniform today, what's the dumbest Olympic sport, man?
It's an easy answer. Horse dressage. Easy. Otherwise known as horse dancing. And you think I'm joking. It's not. That beat comes on and those giddy ups get giddy upping. And they know, and this is absolutely insane that this is, I guess, still an Olympic sport. Like I kind of get horse jumping, but dressage is just unbelievable that this is still going on. Anything that relies on anything that's not a human being should not be allowed in the Olympics. There's no NASCAR racing, things like that. Just no, it should be human beings performing, not training a horse to dance. Also, like, just don't ship horses overseas because that seems kind of cruel just to make it there for the Olympics. So yeah, horse dressage does not represent my country.
Not in my country. Horse dressage. All right. 3-on-3 basketball was added this year.
You don't like it?
It's the absolute dumbest Olympic sport. And I tried to watch it. I thought it was dumb 5 years ago when they announced that this was something that was added. I was like, one, who wanted this? And then two, I watched it. It's stupid. It's like watching a pickup game. I don't 3-on-3 basketball. Get it out.
It's surprising how, I hate to say this, it's surprising how bad the athletes are that are playing 3-on-3 basketball.
Yeah.
Because they're obviously not on like the 5-on-5 full Olympic teams. It's like watching a pickup game and they have to shoot quickly. So it's like a lot of chucking it up there. Mm-hmm. I'm just watching it like, oh, this isn't even good.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's honestly just terrible. Well,
I'm thrilled you two went first and second because you took two of my picks. I particularly wanted to discuss this topic when I found out that horse dancing was an Olympic sport. And it really made me reflect on like, okay, so the Olympics are at its core, the Olympics are at an athletic competition that really at the end of the day tells you what the most athletic or athletically inclined country is, right? I don't think that horses should be part of what determines what country is the most athletic. I just don't, that doesn't make any GD sense to me at all. And it looks really dumb. 3-on-3 basketball is another one. Like, that's basketball. These people are doing athletic things, but why would we add a sport that nobody is playing as like a sanctioned sport. Like no country has that I'm aware of has like their most popular sport, or like people are flocking to see the 3-on-3 basketball league. No, kids don't grow up trying to play professional 3-on-3 basketball. It's just like, no, so why is that? Why do we add that to 5-on-5? Like generations of basketball players are playing right now because of what like Michael Jordan, the Dream Team started. They saw that, they grew up, they played 5-on-5 basketball. And then we're like, yeah, but let's also add this thing that nobody else was ever really actually playing to try and get into the Olympics. That's stupid. So I had a third one, and I'll just say it right now. I think archery's dumb. I don't think it's a sport. And you could add that to like riflery too, where rifle is actually probably less of a sport than archery. Sure, there's hand-eye coordination, but like, what are we doing? Add darts at that point if you think these are Olympic sports. Like, it's ridiculous. These are not Olympic sports to me. When you compare it to some of the unbelievable athletic things that people like, handball is the most impressive sport I've ever watched in my entire life. It is a combination. It is like handball pulls from like the best things of like 5 different sports, but makes them one sport. And I cannot believe it's not like the most popular sport in the United States of America, because it's wildly entertaining. And then you're like, yeah, but let's cut to archery. Stop it. No.
Yeah, the archery, like they call it shooting. And if you've seen the stereotypical American that won the gold medal in shooting, you're kind of like, ugh. Did we have to win that? Did that guy have to win?
Is this good for us?
Yeah, like what sports make you don't want to win the gold medal? That's one of them. Badminton, or as the announcers were emphasizing, badminton.
There's an N in there.
There is an N in there. It's between that and table tennis. I'm leaning table tennis. But yeah, there's plenty on there. Also, real quick to back on 3-on-3 basketball, I think they were like, what can we do to make the Americans not win this every time? Oh, here we go. 3-on-3. That'll do it. Yeah. You've got some, I'd much rather say, hey, hell yeah, we won rhythmic gymnastics gold medal than did you see that son bitch shoot those clay things up in the air and take home the gold medal all day.
Well, my other one, but skeet shooting, we're not talking about skeet shooting, right? We're just talking about hitting the target. That's what you're talking about. Because skeet shooting is tough. I actually enjoy
shooting.
Watching
no.
shooting.
But Didi can't comment on this because like he went to West Virginia, which is like the #1 rifle team in the country. And I don't think you can't be biased with this conversation. So you can't.
Okay.
No weapons allowed at the Olympics.
That's fair. That's all right. That's fair. Like basically every swimming stroke almost.
Oh, get out.
Okay, seriously. Who does like what is it? It's the butterfly stroke. Who does that?
Yeah. I did. What? And then I was told you're not very good at that. You should stick to freestyle. And I was like, you're right. I didn't even like this stroke to begin with. I was on the swimming team in I don't know when. I have my medal. I have my ribbons, and none of them say butterfly. None of them. I'm like, sure, I could try that.
It's the dumbest stroke. It's the dumbest thing in the world. Nobody swims like that. Nobody swims like that. It's like, I hate the fact that people are always like, oh, Michael Phelps, he's the GOAT Olympian. It's because they do a million different swimming strokes. Like, nobody does the hurdles backwards. Like, nobody skeet shoots behind their back. Nobody does that. It's like, just swim straight forward and do it for as long as you want. But like, don't make up swimming strokes that nobody actually does. It's like next Olympics are going to be the 1500 doggy paddle and Katie Ledecky's going to win it. It's going to be amazing. Like, get it.
Dan's going to enter that one.
Yes, I'm in.
Just get rid of like so much of the swimming. We get way too much swimming every year, and it's always live. It's always there. It's got to go. I need that to go.
No, I love the swimming. I like how we have like a week of swimming and then a week of track. maybe it's better to balance those two where they break it up a little bit, because it's like, and now we're on to the 800-meter men's final, and now we're on to the 1600-meter men's final, and now we're on to, it's like, in track, you got to put track in the same category. Swimming is back and forth. Track is running around the same thing. Give me like a road track or something like that they're running on. Give me a little something. Make it like guts. That's what the Olympics should be like, is guts. That's it. You run the lap, and then you got to climb up the mountain there to get the piece of aggro crack. That's how it should finish.
We can replace Mike Tirico with the Rick, and he can host the whole thing.
Let's go to Mo for the results. Mo.
I didn't think of this. I like all the different strokes. I think it's cool, but like the way that you phrased that, Didi, made me think that like it is kind of interesting, because like you could be doing freestyle, but like how one guy does freestyle as opposed to another guy, or one woman to another woman, like your stroke is not going to be exactly the same, right? You're going to do freestyle or the butterfly or whatever. Like you're going to have your own like little tweaks to it to make it as efficient as you can do it for yourself. So that's like weird to me. There's no way to say like, well, you're, clear, like you're doing it a specific way. That's like saying like everybody has to take jump shots the same exact way, and then like
different strokes for different folks.
Touche.
Or you have the relays. The relays are great. The medley relays where they have to do all 4 strokes in one. I love it. Give me that. Give me a little potpourri of swimming.
A little vegetable medley.
All right. Well, one of the things, because it's like, because Tokyo's like, how many hours ahead are they?
13.
Like 13 hours ahead of the East Coast. So 16 hours ahead of the West Coast.
Yes, it is absolutely ridiculous. And it's not that I need them to change this TV schedule because of the spoilers. And it's not that it's anybody's fault. It's just that, like, if I open Instagram, all right, and then the first thing is ESPN telling me exactly what happened on the first picture, I need to be able to turn on NBC maybe like at 9 a.m. and be able to watch whatever the fuck happened. Like, depending on what it was. Because, like, the fact that I have to wait all day to watch Simone Biles get the bronze, or to watch like Caleb Dressel do whatever, is absolutely ridiculous to me. Like, put these things on. Like, I don't know how they do that. You can put these things on in the morning, you can put these things on and still have your prime time, but it's just stupid that you have to wait all day, and it ruins the suspense. It ruins the fun of it. It's just like, give it to me before like I happen to see all of the highlights of it on Twitter throughout like the 12 hours of the day.
Yeah, I feel like there's a couple of people on my timeline on Twitter that are up at like 4 a.m. watching the gymnastics. And so like every day when I log on Twitter, the first tweet I see tells me everything that happened. And it's kind of a dud.
Yeah, it's really frustrating as someone that oversees social media accounts for a living. It's nearly impossible. And I hate it. Now, I basically tried to stay off all social media when I knew Simone Biles was going to compete in the balance beam, and I was successful. But like, even ads, it doesn't even matter if people are you're going to hit it either way. I'm clearing out there should just be a mute Olympics button for any sports app that we have, because I get it from Yahoo, from ESPN, from Bleacher Report, just enough. I'm just have to clear all of them out of there. It's really frustrating that you have to be up at 4:00 in the morning if you want to watch these things live. You can catch some things on the East Coast. If you're up at 7 a.m., it's 8 p.m. in Japan, in Tokyo, that you could catch some of that stuff. But that's if you're going to catch it then. Didi, I wanted to ask you, for your primetime coverage on the West Coast, are you getting that at 8 o'clock, or are you getting it at 5 o'clock? You are getting it at 5.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm getting it at 5, but it's just that like, I just hate, and I wish that I understand everyone does things for clicks and stuff, and it's whatever, but like, I just wish that like ESPN and all these other places would at least warn you first.
Yes.
I just hate
Give
the
us
fact
a
that
warning.
I literally open, because we all open whatever apps we use. We open them just like not even thinking about it. Like this is what we do. We roll over in our bed, we open our phone, and like we just click on something. And I hate the fact that I can just do that. And it's not like the thousandth picture of my friend's dog or something. It's Simone Biles wins bronze. And I'm like, could you make me at least swipe to get there? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want it just to be right there, House of Highlights. I don't want it to be right there. Like, I need you to tell me, hey, if you want spoiled, swipe. And then, okay, I'll swipe if I want to be spoiled. If not, keep it away from me. There's just ways we can do this better, I think.
It's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah. I noticed one, I think it's Yahoo has started to do like whatever the event is, swipe to see if USA got a medal or swipe to see if she earned a medal. Because I'm hoping people were complaining like this is getting ridiculous. We want to watch it in prime time where we get like all of the best from the day in one 4-hour period. And we don't want it spoiled because there's no reason for that. I'm sure NBC isn't all that thrilled when all these spoiler notifications go out throughout the day, but we're going to be fortunate when the Olympics in 2028, when they're in Los Angeles. That's going to be a beautiful time. Unfortunately, in the winter, we're having a Olympics in February, ladies and gentlemen. They're coming up real quick. And I think they're back in Beijing, who just hosted the Summer Games not that long ago. Bunch of garbage. So we're going to go through this again in February. We're going to go through the same time thing again in February. And then we've got Paris in 2024. That's not going to be as bad. Hopefully not as bad, but yeah, it's, as someone who loves the Olympics and would rather watch them all day, you're missing some of that key stuff, and to get it spoiled, it sucks. We've got to do better.
We do. As a country, must do better with our Olympics coverage. All right, let's get into college football. College football is getting crazy again, just like it did in 2011, right? Yeah, it was like 2011 when all these teams moved. Well, Texas and Oklahoma are in the SEC starting in 2025, which I think is actually going to end up happening sooner than that, to be honest. And now all
intended.
the conferences are freaking out. Oh, that was nice. I didn't even notice I did that. Else to me. Yeah, well, and now all the conferences are freaking out. What are you guys thinking? Is this good for college football? Are you enjoying it? Realignment. Go for it.
I, in the past, have loved conference realignment. I think it's fascinating because it doesn't make any sense. And then like teams get transferred from one place to another place, and then they end up playing all these new teams. And we find out like, are they worse than we thought they were? Are they better than we thought they were?
We are who we thought they were.
In general, the teams that have moved from one conference to another, we've actually found out that they're shittier than we thought. They've not done as well for the most part. And when this news broke, I was very excited. However, in like the week that has followed, I have liked it less and less. And I'm at the point where like I'm not a big fan of all this anymore, because I feel like I can see where it's going, or at least where everybody else says it's going, and I don't think it's good for college football or college athletics. So I'm kind of not liking it. I started off like, hey, more of the fun stuff, and then I was like, oh wait, no, it's not actually fun.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there, Chris, where at first, shaking things up and changing things up is exciting. You get to see teams play that typically would never play, and now you're going to get to see them on a yearly or every other year basis. The cream rises to the top. You think about what it's going to do for postseasons and tournaments and brackets and playoffs and things like that, and how it can really hopefully shake things up for the good. But I'm with you there too, where as we're going down this road even further, you'll lose a lot of tradition with these moves, right? Which suck. And as fans of schools that used to play each other, we know how much losing a tradition and rivalry is unfortunate. Now, maybe we're getting that back, but but yeah, when you start peeling back the onion layer and really realize what's happening, and you have to understand the whole like trickle down effect, right? It's like, how is this affecting Oklahoma, Texas, and the SEC? Oh, good. But how is it affecting the rest of the Big 12? Oh, not good. And nobody wants them. And they're going to have to merge with who? The Big 10. And the Pac-12 doesn't want them. And the Pac-12 is going to merge with the Big 10. And what's happening to the ACC? If Clemson leaves, are we going to have the Big East all over again? It's almost a little too much. And you worry what happens to even the mid-tier, the mid-major conferences. All that money rises to the top. And it's just going to be, I think it's going to be chaos. We're going to have 3-4 big leagues, and week to week, the games will be great, but I think you lose a lot of integrity along the way.
I mean, what's going to happen is you're going to have two conferences, and then everyone else is going to figure out what they consider to be college football. Because I just think we're going to have two basically minor leagues, and that's what it's going to be. It's going to be NFL light, NFL junior, whatever you want to call it. That's what it's going to be. And then we're going to have the rest of college football, which I don't think is that bad, to be honest. Because I think you're going to have the semi-pro league, and then you're going to have the rest of these people who are like, you know what? We are going to actually have student athletes, and that's what we're going to do. And so I don't think it's going to be that bad. But I think when we get to this point where we have this new playoff that's however many teams, I think you're going to have these conferences merge into two, and then everyone else is going to be playing their own championship. The same way that, the divisions play their own championships now. I think, there's going to be a place where, who knows, Pitt and West Virginia and schools like UConn and stuff like that are going to be playing their own thing, and where there's going to be these huge powerhouses, they're going to be doing their own thing too. That just seems to be, to me, where it's all going. Like, we're going to get to this point where these other schools can't compete and may not want to compete with that. To be honest, like, I don't know what everyone's school's commitment to winning is not the same. It's just not. And like, I don't know where, and I just think that's just where it's kind of going to go.
Yeah. I think like, you're right. Every school's commitment to winning is not the same. But every school's aspirations for the money are the same because everybody wants as much of it as they can get.
Yeah.
And that's what I hate about all this, because like, I totally get why Texas and Oklahoma are going to the SEC. They're going to get exponentially more money. They're huge brands. But what this has led to now is basically everybody viewing college football through the lens of like, what is your value to college football, which I think just sucks. Like, Didi, you just mentioned Pitt and West Virginia, the two schools that the three of us root for one or the other. And like, now West Virginia is in a weird spot, right? Because we don't know what's going to happen with the Big 12. They've always made so much sense in the ACC, but like, how we're viewing them is, well, they're in a state of less than 2 million people and their alumni base isn't that big. They don't draw dollars for TV, so they're not worth bringing into a conference. It's like, but they're like the last 25 years, they've been largely really good at football. Like,
yeah,
we're just like totally scratching that off the list in terms of like what matters to college football. And now it's not about, is your school good at football? It's about how much money can your school pump into a TV network deal? Like, that's all it's about. It doesn't matter about what happens on the field anymore. And I think it's just going to more and more spiral that way. And these are universities, like it's college. At some point, like, we've totally lost the scope of the whole thing. And I think that sucks.
You're right. It is less about what happens on the field, or else Texas wouldn't have gotten an invite to the SEC because they realized
they're just going to be, dude. The funny part about they're going to be like a mid-tier team in the SEC. Like, they've been basically mid-tier since they won that national championship anyways. And it's like, now they're just going to the SEC and they're going to be like, okay.
And they're like,
you brought a lot of money.
They're going to be like in the top 2 or 3 in terms of money in the conference easily. They own their own network. They're extremely wealthy in terms of the revenue that they generate, that Texas generates, which is why they've had the big target on them. But you're right, Chris. It's unfortunate that it's all become about money. Brett McMurphy had a tweet where he thinks there'll be 4 conferences and they're each going to be named E, S, P, and N, which sounds about right. It sounds about right, but it is. And you have to think football is the revenue generator for just about every single athletic department there is. But you have to think about how that dollar affects the other sports, how it affects basketball, but how it affects the Olympic sports as well. They can't all do these conference mergers and expect a team to travel cross country because the conferences had to merge. You say, yeah, they're going to be generating more dollars from this new conference or whatever. But I hope, again, that trickle down effect, that people are really considering all that. I'd hate to see the negative effect that it could have on some of these other Olympic sports, because the field hockey team can't charter a plane to travel to California to play a new conference opponent. And they might have to still retain some of those old conferences. Some of them do that. Some Olympic sports have their own different conference alignments than what most other teams do at their own school, just because of travel and things like that. So yeah, I understand why it's all about money, but yeah, at the same time, this is still, it's college we're talking about. We're talking about college athletics, and it generates a ton of money for a lot of good reasons. But the fact that it's the driving focus of this stuff makes it harder to swallow sometimes.
Like, this is how, like, so Didi, with West Virginia being like in a weird spot right now, every single conference is looking at it like, okay, so the ACC, all these teams make like $35 million a year from their TV contract. So what they're saying is West Virginia, if we were to add them, and then we divvied that up across 15 schools would make less money. So we can't add you because we can't guarantee that you're going to bring these schools $36 million a year. Like, that's what we're looking at now. Like, are you worth however, what is 35 million times 14? Because that's how many teams are in the ACC. Like, West Virginia, you need to make that plus $1 to fit in the ACC. That's ridiculous.
Dude, it's so ridiculous. Cause I mean, this is, cause that's what makes you so mad about the whole thing. It doesn't matter how good you are or what you're doing on the field or on the court or whatever, because Rutgers is in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
What the hell has Rutgers done?
Yeah.
Like, in Rutgers is anytime there was conference realignment, years ago, Rutgers is top of the conversation. Everybody wanted Rutgers. For what? Oh, because New York, New Jersey. That's why you want them.
For TV sets.
You want them for nothing. You watch a Rutgers game on TV. Have you ever seen a Rutgers team game with anybody in the crowd? I haven't. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's what, and that's what sucks about it all. And it sucks for West Virginia to be to have a good football program, to have a good commitment to winning, and then just be kind of left outside. And you understand it. West Virginia has a state of less than 2 million people. You know what I mean? Like, they're the only game in town, which doesn't mean much to anyone else. So it just kind of, I don't know, it just all kind of sucks, because it sucks they're in the Big 12 anyways. I've always hated the fact they're in the Big 12, because like they lost all rivals. And as much as you can be like, oh, Texas is a rival, it's like, no one believes that.
Yeah. Right.
And then I saw stuff about the Big 12 joining with the Pac-12, and I'm like, WVU, USC, UCLA. I'm like, what are we doing? I'm here for it. Hey, come out. West Virginia comes out west a couple times before they put them in the MAC or whatever. That's fun. I'm cool with it, but it also sucks.
And even as a Pitt fan, like, Dan, I don't know about you, but so West Virginia is in like a more precarious situation right now. But as a Pitt fan, the ACC is at the bottom of how the league's making money annually. Like, teams, how much your school makes from being in the ACC. It's at the bottom of all the conferences. So like, now the thing is, okay, the ACC needs to figure out something that's more lucrative, or eventually Clemson, Florida State, Miami, they're going to go to the Big Ten or the SEC. And then what happens to all the other schools in that conference? So it's like, even if you're in a conference right now, I feel like unless you're a USC or a Texas or an Alabama, you don't feel comfortable about where all this stuff is headed. And that, I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's not good.
Yeah. And then you've got Notre Dame sitting out there kind of driving their own ship, kind of waiting to see how things fall into place and realize that they're going to be the major stakeholder, in the end for this, whatever they decide to do. The way that teams are aligned in conferences nowadays, Maryland shouldn't be in the Big Ten. They shouldn't. They need to get out of there. They're not even good, and because they need to get out of there. But on top of the list that you already provided there, that you hate that you lose all that history and tradition, and then at the end of the day, it's all for the dollar, which, by the way, none of us see. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Oh, boys. Well, let's talk about this Aaron Rodgers presser. Chris, noted Wisconsin man. You've had some family in. I mean, what's the feeling around your home state of Wisconsin as Aaron Rodgers just literally just had a press conference and sat up there and went moment by moment for a year of why he hates the Packers, but also saying, yeah, I'll be here this year, guys. I'm still your quarterback, but I fucking hate you.
So real quick, part of how I learned how many people listen to this podcast is how many people called me noted Wisconsin man, Chris Skates, when we went to the wedding this weekend. The quote that kept coming up with everybody in my wife's family, they're all Packers fans, is when he was like, I don't know if you guys realize, but Green Bay, Wisconsin is not a vacation destination. People come here to play with me. And that, it was over at that point. It was over at that point. Not to mention the fact that before he said that, this is the most unprecedented press conference of all time. The Packers just set this up for him. I don't think they ever talked about Aaron, do you have some talking points that you want to go over in this thing? Because the media just one question, he was like, let me break down the last 6 months for you guys, conversation by conversation. And it was insane. I watched it live. I don't stop my workout for anything, guys. I stopped my workout for this and I was into it. It was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it.
The dude was just given a live microphone. He's like, I know I've been quiet, haven't told my side of the story. Not going to hold anything back. Here we go. Buckle up. I hope you guys got plenty of time this afternoon.
While he's wearing a Packers hat and a Packers shirt.
Yeah, but you're right. Now that he knows he's got 1 year there and he's going to basically have some freedom after this to go where he wants, he's not holding anything back. He's like, I'm going to say my side of the story up here and then go out there and try to win and do my thing. That was the most amazing line I've ever heard, that Green Bay isn't a huge vacation destination line. They're coming here to play with me and with our team to win a championship. That was amazing. He went into detail too about how he's tried to be, and that's what it kind of all stems down to, right? He tried to be part of the conversation, wants to help bring in players, wants to have, an opinion on what the front office is doing. And he tried to do this one delicately too. He goes, quote, the information I provided hasn't really been, and he paused, used, shall we say? He was trying to put it delicately, and he's like, no, it just hasn't been used. Anything that I've said to them, they're not listening, and that's why we're here.
Dude, I still can't believe that it happened. That's how bizarre that press conference was. And because we're going to be regardless how the Green Bay Packers season goes, that press conference, if they start out bad, all anybody's going to talk about is this press conference. If they go well, if things go well, they're going to talk every interaction with Aaron Rodgers and anyone on the Packers, whether it's a fan, it doesn't matter. Everyone's going to be paying attention and going back to that press conference, which was just, incredible. Like, this is what I wish that, like, because it's weird having a lame duck quarterback, like a quarterback that you know is going to leave. And it's like how I wish presidents would act in their last year. Like, you've already served 2 terms. You're at the end of your last year of your term. You can't get reelected. You're done. I wish they would all do that too. Just start saying whatever the hell they wanted. Just start doing whatever the hell they wanted. Just start talking about it. And just like, oh yeah, this is why this bill didn't pass, because this dipshit, I'm leaving in a year. Get me out of here. Doesn't matter. Like, it was just fascinating. And Aaron Rodgers, not exactly the most likable guy, not exactly the most interesting person, but man, did he win some points.
It was refreshing. It was, because you don't hear athletes do that. And, everybody talks about the petty games he plays and whatnot, but it was kind of refreshing for him to just sit there and, yeah, like you said, Chris, tell the whole story week by week since February, give it to you and not hold anything back. I really thought the Packers were going to go DJ Khaled Coachella on him and just pull the plug and be like, time's up. Who's next? Somebody else got to get in here. And then the microphone just stopped working, but he laid it out there. Amazing.
God, dude. Also, Jordan Love must be the worst quarterback of all time.
Yeah, right.
Because not one person has said anything about Jordan Love practicing hard. No one said anything good about him. Like, I am nervous for Packers fans, because you at least would have gotten some kind of article like Jordan Love is this, nothing.
Yeah,
It's
or
just
Rodgers
like-
would have been traded for top dollar,
Yeah.
and he would have gone with them. And they're like, not ready.
He must be. I mean, terrible.
Could be fascinating.
God. All right, well, let's get into what we are listening to this week. Dan, get us started. What is on your playlist, man?
All right, I'll try to go quick here. I'm going to start with the band. Posters are over my shoulder. They're back. Paris just released a brand new single, first one this year, called Monster. They're definitely still embracing this new sound, which is electro heavy, pop focused, but still kind of has dark and alternative vibes to it. But we've seen that shift since the last album, and they're staying in that lane, and it's still amazing. Still love it. They've been kind of cryptic leading up to this most recent release, and they're really turning that type of stuff up, playing with everybody, which is like, come on, just give us the music. We've been at home for a year and a half. We don't want to play your puzzles. So I'm expecting more of that, and eventually a new album or an EP coming up soon. But Monster from Paris.
Nice. Chris, what you got?
I heard this song today, and quite honestly, I don't know if Dan has already put it on the playlist or not, but Church's Good Girls. I like that song.
I would imagine I did, but I can't quite exactly recall, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, Dan's put a lot of Churches on the playlist over the years, but I heard it and I liked it, so I'm putting it on.
Nice. All right. I got Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak put out their second single of their Silk Sonic album that is coming out whenever it's coming out.
Yeah.
Skate, and it is just feel good jam, and I just love it. Throw this on the cookout playlist too, because this is just a beautiful. I love this song. Skate, Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. Check it out.
I like it. A collaboration that we didn't see coming. All Time Low and Pale Waves. All Time Low, that kind of classic, one of the most popular pop punk bands, if you want to call them that, to date. And Pale Waves, more in the alternative scene, but they've been leaning a little bit more towards that direction lately. They haven't quite figured out their sound, but these two came together for a new song called PMA, which stands for Postmodern Anxiety. It's kind of a perfect post-quarantine anthem. I said quarantine. I didn't say post-COVID. I said post-quarantine anthem. And the blend of the sound really comes together. That classic upbeat sound that you usually get from All Time Low. Really like it. And I think a lot of people can relate to the lyrics probably. So PMA from All Time Low and Pale Waves.
Here's a question. So Quinn, and then like Roman
92.
92.
Thank you. I've never known that and always wondered. So I just say Quinn. So that album, Change of Scenery. Did we ever talk about the album from this year. I can't remember if we did. It could have happened on a episode that I was not
Mhm.
on. But I love that album, and it's been on like my list of songs to put on here for months, honestly, and I never have. But Stay Next to Me. It's just a great song.
Oof,
Like,
Yeah.
did that go on the cookout playlist? I don't know. I feel like I would enjoy listening
it
to
on
that anywhere. Let's do it. Put it on.
That's
Chelsea Cutler's on there too, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember
That's
talking about this. We did talk about this, man. Yeah, maybe you weren't
Yeah.
there, Chris, but that's a potential. I'm working on it, but that's on the list of potential first dance songs. It's got a lot of good connections.
I thought about that, man. I've thought about that listening
Yeah.
to that song. It is that damn good.
Yeah.
We maybe we haven't talked about it. Maybe I texted that song to Dan and I
That's
said
true.
to him, "This is your first dance song."
Yeah.
When it
And I
came
was
out,
like,
I was like,
wow.
"This is it right here." Like,
Yeah.
we don't know this band. Like, this is everything about that song is just like,
Yep.
it's perfect. I love
Good
that
pick.
song.
Good pick.
I don't know if you put this on last week or not, because I'm not sure, or 2 weeks ago. But where are we at? Oh my gosh. Oh, all right. Meet Me at the Altar. Brighter Days. Did anybody put this on?
I don't.
Brighter Days?
Yeah.
Yes.
You put it on.
I put it on.
Okay. Well, anyways, love this song. It's amazing. Putting it on again. I can't wait for their EP to drop next week.
Nice.
I feel like I've stolen this band from you guys. I love Meet Me at the Altar so much. I feel like I've literally just stolen them from you, but my God, Brighter Days. I just love that song. So check it out.
Speaking of Meet Me at the Altar, that's why I asked you the song name. They just released the song, unless Chris, you had this one to finish things out, called Better Days. Better Days Are Before Us is the name of the newest single. So we'll add that one in there as well. All right, to finish things out for me, Meh. Who else but Meh released the song Kindness.
Who else?
She wrote it kind of as a thank you / love letter to me / her other fans. Being away from people for over a year kind of allowed her to connect to her fans in different and unique ways than she's been used to. So it's really, really cool. Got that classic Meh sound. I think you're going to hear this one on the radio quite a bit. It's probably going to be a part of a third album that she may come out with later this year, but Kindness from Meh.
Nice.
Love it. Here's a weird band name. Origami Angel. Putting them on the playlist this week. Pop punk band. I think the song is pronounced isopropyl alchemy. I don't know. If I'm being honest with you, I don't know what this song is even about. I hate the first 60 seconds of it, but I love the last 2.5 minutes. So it's super catchy. There's like these crazy random changes in pace, but at the end of the day, it's catchy if you just fast forward through the first 60 seconds. And I think you guys are gonna like it.
Nice. All right. My last one, Lil Jon, LMFAO, shots. Get your fucking shot, people. Please, for the love of God, get your goddamn vaccine. For the love of God, please get your goddamn vaccine. I am so sick of this shit. We have masks again in LA. We're not distancing yet, but everybody's got their masks on. Everybody's doing all the things that we were basically doing a year ago. And it's like we're just all falling right back into line of almost where we were before. And I don't want to get there. I really would like for us to figure this out and get to September. It's just ridiculous. Like we've been talking about West Virginia a lot. WVU has Fall Fest every year, huge concert they put on. They had to cancel Fall Fest because they can't get enough students and faculty vaccinated. They need to get to 60%. They failed, so there will be no Fall Fest this year. I'm like, guys, I've been out of college for 12 years. And that hurt me when I read it.
Wow.
I was like, you're not having Fall Fest because you're not enough of you are vaccinated. Like, I just don't understand. I will, for the life of me, will not understand why we don't have enough people getting vaccinated. I know there's a certain group of people who are like anti-vaccinated and all that shit, but like, I don't get it. I don't get it. But anyways, Lil Jon, LMFAO, shots on the playlist.
Yeah, I love the tie-in with the song. You're completely right. We're going backwards. It's frustrating. We should know We know the direction this is going, and we know how to stop it. And it's New York City vaccine passports. You can't get into a restaurant without the vaccine card. That's where we're going.
Don't ruin my football season,
dude.
Yeah, please. All these bands are about to go back on the road too. We're about to have
Yeah.
concerts. About to go to our first concert in 2 weeks. Don't ruin this, people. Get that damn shot.
God.
Also, none of us put Billie Eilish on the playlist, which is a complete and utter disaster. So we're throwing it on. Her album came out happier than ever. Easy for me to say. I'm going to put the title track on there. Happier Than Ever. It's an incredible song. It's kind of 2 songs in one. Takes you through the journey. Listen to the whole thing. It's like 5 minutes, but it's soft and kind of somber at the beginning. But then she cranks up this distorted guitar and drums in the second half. So shouts to her and another amazing album.
Nice. Well, boys, it's been another Brunch Breakdown.
We did it.
We did it.
Just like that Olympic hurdler. We made it over the last hurdle and we didn't fall down.
Beautiful. It's been Sports Brunch on the Brunch Breakdown. We're out.